Alright, so basically, as you can tell, this video is basically the direction of my music, right? I noticed when I was recording the Gretsch video, I actually haven't recorded the bass video yet, um, that basically I didn't really describe what I wanted to do. Like I said, mix and master my, demo album, but it wasn't just gonna be that, it's gonna be adding stuff, right? I spoke a little bit about layering in my Gretsch video, and I just wanted to speak more about that, right? So basically, what I plan on doing is recording different guitars, doing different things, sort of like I spoke about in the Gretsch video. Bass, guitar, if I could, a violin, some drums, piano, and just basically layering the stuff, right? So obviously, advantages and disadvantages. A lot of disadvantages is like it's easier to just get a band and do that, or like go online and just do that. You'd be like, hey, why aren't you just doing that? And basically, it's because I'm just sort of a control freak. I want my stuff exactly how I want, and I sort of want to just have more of a connection with that, if you know what I mean. But a bigger thing is sort of I just want to get more comfortable, more used to it. I want to be able to change what I want, right? Um, so as you can tell, like different guitars, what do I mean? Well, like you could tell with the Yamaha, it's an acoustic, right? So it's gonna have a lot more of a, I would say, broader sound, not so much high pitched, sort of like, I guess deeper, but not as deep as a bass. And it's just, it's acoustic. It's more broad. Like you, for sort of examples, is like you'd assume to hear an acoustic is sort of like a house or like in a campfire area, right? And really, in my opinion, it's a really good like bass level. But if you want more depth, you want something higher pitched and lower pitched, sort of like an electric guitar and a bass, right? Which I also have, a Gretsch. But I sort of want to get a Fender as well, and then I do have the 5-string Dean bass. And basically, what I want to do is layer different things. Okay, you'll hear the strumming. Like a lot of the strumming will be on the Yamaha, but a lot of the plucking and stuff will be on the Gretsch, or we actually having a classical guitar, not electric, but we can record, the classical, um, and just different sounds. Nylon strings will have different sounds than steel strings or brass strings or other types of strings. And basically, what I want to do is just layer different sounds to make the music whole. Different puzzle pieces sort of create an ambiance, but when you put them together, they can cover their faults and also make a broader sound, right? A good example would be like, okay, the song "Bloody Bed," right? I probably play the chords that you hear in the demo, right? Or if you actually watch the video just by itself, um, you'll be able to hear the just guitar by itself, but there's a lot of stuff that needs to be in the background, right? And my voice doesn't sound that good in that. So either I'd probably layer my vocals or I would put distortion on them. And then for the guitar itself, I would play the stuff on the Gretsch, because the song, the actual, like, I wouldn't even call that a riff, but like the actual plucking was made on the Gretsch. And then I would probably put some background piano, maybe some violin, a couple of drums as a background to it, right? And sort of the way I want to make my music is always going to be like there's one thing that's just sort of not so much following a pattern so much, but even if you have one that's following a pattern, it sort of changes a little, because I sort of don't like to just keep something the same, which sort of a discrepancy you'll see in my music, where I have a lot of stuff staying the same and then a lot of stuff that just isn't. If I have something staying the same, it sort of has to change between two things that are staying the same. A good example is fighting. Like you got the guitar, right? Um, if I have a chorus in any songs, um, I'll be switching it between that. You'll be able to tell in a lot of stuff like that. I also think some of you might have noticed a lot of my lyrics, I don't go by the normal format of like, a bridge, a chorus, and stuff like that, because I can't really sing like that. And you might be like, oh, we're rapping, but I can't really rap like that. You'll be able to tell, like, my voice is sort of better for songs like The Woman and like Fly Be on His Side. So on those stuff, I won't really like be layering or like stuff like that. But for stuff um, like Bloody Bad, I'd probably put distortion, and stuff like Poison, I'd probably layer my vocals, so stuff like that, right? And sort of this is sort of like the way my music I want it to be like is, and like I got stuff like Lies Like Venom, right? Which sort of goes like, look, I'm gonna book a winner, just you see. Broke a million, trick a winning, just you see. Cinnamon with an stupid looking scene. Chameleon, command, killing crowd, such a scene. And the guitar, if you give me a second. Sorry about that. Fat body. The guitar goes like. Right. Look, I'm gonna book a winner just to see. Broke a million, trick a winning, just you see. Cinnamon with an stupid looking scene. Chameleon, command, killing crowd, such a scene. Armies armed, dang to game, American lead. Adding the advocate to the Avengers lead. Landing in a faraway land, planting seeds. We plead and please. Right. No, that's not tuned, but you know, like. Right? And so I might do the plucking of that different on a different instrument, and then the actual strumming of that on a different instrument, and then have a background of drums, probably like bongos or something in the background of that, right? And you might be like, why bongos? Because we have bongos, you know. And sort of that's just the whole way I want to do my music, is just layer it and layer it and layer it, right? And just with the bass, obviously I want to sort of like with Bloody Bed, I'll be doing it with the guitar, but then I'll also probably put a lower layer of it being played on bass, because except for the high two strings, like the high E and the high E and I think the B, except for those two, like I have a 5-string that has a deep B, but I'm not gonna do that. Except for those two, really it's just can all be played on bass. So I'll probably do it on bass and have a underlay of it, like layer it, but like bring it down a little so the gretsch can be played. And sort of what I might do, and this is why I keep saying I might and do this and that, is it all depends on how quick I want to do it, right? Because if you prepare too much, then you're never ever going to get it done, right? But what I might do is I also might actually do it on the gretsch, on the Yamaha, on the bass, sort of layer those, right? And have the gretsch as the most, you know, focal point, but then sort of have it layered so you could still get a little bit of ambience from the bass and a little bit of high ends from the Yamaha itself, right? And yeah, that's just sort of an example of the way I want to do my music and why it takes so long, because I'm just too stupid in the ways of doing this. You might be able to tell in like some of my comments and some of the people I ask, or some people that just gives their opinions on my music, you'll be able to tell I don't really play guitar like how you're supposed to. I don't really play bass how you're supposed to, and I'm not really good at following like certain timings, or you know, I don't rap the way I'm supposed to or sing the way I'm supposed to, or there's a lot of stuff I should be working on, like I should be having a pick, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And honestly, that would be helpful if I was trying to become a guitarist, right? Like in a band. That would be helpful if I was trying to become a rapper or a singer. But really what I want to do is just make music, right? And so what I'm trying to do is just basically get good enough where I can get what I want and then put it in my music and layer it and get it how I want, right? Because I want to make the music I want to listen to, right? Now that's sort of selfish, but I want to make music that I want to listen to, right? And make music. Because the whole reason why I started making music, whole reason why I started writing books, making art, is just mostly because I listened to all the music I listened to and I wanted something different, right? I read all the books I read and I was like, man, I want to read something different, right? So basically, that's my whole goal with this music, is make something that glorifies God, but also something that's different, something that I want to listen to. Of course, if it glorifies God, I want to listen to it, but that's just sort of a different ambiance compared to other people being like, hey, you should be doing this. And like, of course, when I rap, some people be like, man, look at him. Why? And I rap a little fast when I want to rap to show people, and they're like, man, you rap like Eminem. But then when they listen to my songs, they're like, yeah, you don't really sound like Eminem. Which you could sort of tell with like Lies of Venom, like, okay, like, look, I've got a bucket wedding just to see, broke a million shook wedding just to see, cinema with an S stupid looking scene. Or even with Obituary, when it's not like actually on the guitar, it's like, this is a dictionary for my obituary with my assets going to the cemetery. It's a funky, funny life mixed with misery, fixed with a library full with literally anything. My mind unable to keep its memories, unstable, an earthquake, shaky, stable, only when ready to take on anything. Any of these things could kill me with ease. No thinking, just a thick soup for the trees, right? When I give that to people, people are like, man, Eminem. I'm like, man, that's not what I'm going for, right? But really, it's just, that's the whole plan with my music, is to just sort of layer it and make something that I want to listen to, right? Like, I really like listening to YB on his side. I actually recorded a different version on my phone. Not a different version, but a version with a lot less background noise. And a lot of this is just going to take a while until I can get in a studio, record them, like fighting. You can't really hear my voice because I'm playing it on the Yamaha and my voice isn't really going over that, and I sort of mumble over my voice, right? Like, now that the course is over, I want to doors to the Lord forever. Not just indoors, but everywhere. Like, it sort of sounds like that. What I want is, now that the course is over, we want to endorse the Lord forever, not just indoors, but everywhere, and care about the whores, killers, and sinners everywhere, because the Lord bears the pain, because it will never take away. So we will say, Lord of all, take away the pain, right? And I want to have it follow the rhythm of going like, slow, slow, faster, faster, slow, slow, faster, faster, right? So I got to work on my timing. I know I have to work on my timing, right? But it works a lot more if I have the layers to follow that, right? And that's just sort of a video of what I want to do with my music. And if y'all like this video, I could speak more in depth about it. My phone's at, 14% right now. So this probably wasn't the perfect timing to, record a video. But I'm like, man, it's Saturday. I got to go back to the dorms tomorrow. I don't really have the time to really speak about it. And even now, you can sort of hear, I don't really have like the time to really record this, so I had to sort of just fit it in, you know what I mean? And yes, I'm trying to record videos and upload them once a week again. Yeah. But yeah, that's sort of an answer to one of the comments being like, hey, you should get a pick and learn easier songs. I'm purposely not learning other people's songs so I can just sort of keep it separate. Like, you can sort of tell the only thing that I really practiced and learned was the 12-bar blues, and that's sort of imprinted on all my music. I don't really like that. That's why on like one of the videos where I think it's called me figuring out a riff for 8 minutes, you could really see I'm just trying not to follow into that 12-bar blue, rhythm with my fingers. I'm trying to do something different. And that's all of it. Like, Obituary, Poison, Lies Like Venom, The Woman, YB on His Side. All those songs have different guitar, different styles, different everything, because I want to make something that's broad and fix everything together to make music that I want to listen to, that I can listen to over and over and be like, oh, this is new, oh, this is added, oh, I added this. And that's also why, like, if you listen to watch my videos speaking about, explaining lyrics, I try to also layer lyrics so I can get other different things on my lyrics, right? Like, just be like, oh yeah, I put this in and I put that in, and then I sort of did this double entendre, and then I sort of make this scheme right here, right? And that's just honestly how I want to do my music. And if y'all have any suggestions, I'm always up for suggestions, but as you could sort of tell already, I do have a vision I go towards, but that vision's always changing, always willing to change, right? Like, I still gotta change that name of that song, like SMB. I gotta figure out a better name for that, you know what I mean? And y'all can definitely tell me in the comments a better name in your opinion for that. But like I said in the Gretsch video, I have the Gretsch, like, say may and break all my pain way, and then please break May, right? And then you got the Yamaha playing, then you got the Gretsch playing, and then I got some bass. I'll probably be like dun 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 dun, right? Just with the bass, like right? So going with the flow of the guitar, and then I'd have probably bongos going. That might be a little too much. I may do just piano going at a different flow because that's sort of just really giving hit for it. But I don't know until I layer it and listen to it and be like, oh yeah, that's way too much. Just sort of packed on, and you can't really tell the difference. And it's sort of just a jumble of garbage, right? Or just too much sound pollution, or maybe it really just makes it hit more, and you go, right? You might just really get into that rhythm and go, yeah, I really like this, you know. And that song, I definitely layer my vocals to, because you can sort of tell I'm like trying to go deeper, and then it's just sort of weird. I might layer my vocals. I might have to put some distortion or some. I tried to stay away from auto-tune because that sort of gets too far away in my opinion. But like I'll probably put distortion and layer my vocals. I'll sort of go like, "Save me and break on my pain way, and then please break me." And then, you know, layer that with, "Save me and break on my pain way, and then please break me. Oh, break me." I might go like soft, like, "Save me and break on my pain way, and then please break me. Oh, break me." Right? And layer it. Maybe put some distortion to make it sound a little different, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's about it with the way I want to put my music. Maybe y'all disagree, and that's fine. Y'all don't have to listen to it. Maybe y'all are like, hey, this is a cool idea, but you got to go sort of this direction. And I might be like, nah, that's a good suggestion, but I don't really want to. Or I might be like, yeah, actually, exactly what I should be going with it. I wasn't thinking about that, but that actually helps more, you know? Sort of like some of the songs I'm thinking just violin, sort of like the same way. I don't know if it's a violin, it might be a cello, but like the ending of the Masquerade album, not the fan edition, but just the Masquerade, where it's like, oh, now I gotta listen to that song because I don't know the name of that. Truth never lies. Oh, what is it? A problem with love is it's always right. I wanna fall into you. Darn it. But the thing that goes before the chorus every time he like does the verses, like that violin or cello or whatever that is, sounds really good. And that's sort of maybe what I'd want to do, is sort of pulls it away but adds to it, you know what I mean? So it just pulls away a little bit from some of the, you know, repeating rhythm, and sort of gives you an extra, maybe even just some like opera sounds go to like different songs. And that's sort of what I plan on doing, just layering and adding and mixing and mastering. That's what I usually mean by mixing and mastering, which I know isn't mixing and mastering. I also want to, you know, control the vocal levels, of course, separate the audio of my voice from the instrumentals, and sort of just add all that. But that's my plan. And now, with that forward, you sort of get what I'm going to be doing with like the Gretsch videos, showing you sort of what I plan on doing with the Gretsch, as I already have, and then, you know, with the bass, sure to show you what I want to do with the bass, with the Yamaha, with different instruments. I'll show you with the bongos, different things, and sort of just look up for those videos. That's probably what I'm going to be doing more often now. Along with still got to be making my book, still explaining the card game. I know not all of y'all will be liking different videos, but hey, I'm just sort of uploading these and sort of showing y'all my creative process. But yeah, that's about it. My phone's at like 11, almost 10%, which is gonna shut off. I know I should be recording when my phone is closer to 100, and I just, you know, don't think about that. But yeah, may the Lord be with us. And yeah, if y'all like it, y'all can comment if y'all want. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.